This podcast is created by Home Build Zambia to help you as you start and manage your home building project. The podcast is for educational purposes only. Seek professional advice to get specific help for your project. Enjoy this week's show. Welcome to an architect and a DJ build a home podcast. Today I'm presenting alone. The DJ is not with me, but I'm not alone. I have a special guest with me, and I'm excited to share our guest's story. For a long time we've been wanting to share real life stories, and Priscilla has agreed to join us. So welcome, Priscilla.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry I don't do DJing.
It's fine. I think we will be able to cope.
Okay.
We'll call the DJ if we need one. Okay. Thank you so much for joining, and thank you for agreeing to be on the show. We're all about helping people building their own homes.
Yes.
And you are on your journey.
Yes.
So I thought perhaps we could start just talking about how you ended up on this path of building your own home.
Okay. Thank you so much for inviting me on the podcast. My journey started a long time ago.
Yeah.
The first piece of land that I bought was in the late 90s, sold that one.
Yeah.
But the one major one that I bought was in 2003.
Yeah.
I acquired a loan from the bank.
Yeah.
And to be very honest with you, I didn't plan. It was a vibe. It was a trend. Buy a piece of land. It just looks good. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I bought a piece of land, borrowed money from the bank.
Yeah.
And at that time also the bank was just dishing out these loans, and I qualified, bought. And to be very honest with you, it took me another 3 years to get my title deed.
Wow.
And I only started building maybe 10, 15 years later.
Wow.
And even when I finished that building, it had outdone me because it had taken so long.
Yes.
And what brings me to this table is that second time around of my building journey, I have started planning with you.
And so I forgot to mention that as I introduced the show, is that Priscilla and I connected because she needed help with where to start the building project. So she got in touch with me. She thought she needed an architect first.
Yes.
And was directed to me, and I said, no, I don't design. I don't design anymore, but I know how I can help you. I can help you thinking through the planning part.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also I would like to say that because of lack of a plan, I was just doing things without a laid down plan. What is it that I'm looking for? So the bank has got money, you borrow the money. That also is a huge struggle to pay back. It took a long time to pay back that money. And also, you just don't have the end in view. So you are just doing things. Oh, okay. All right, this is the land. You don't think through. And therefore, this time around, I would like to turn it upside down and say, okay, so what is it that I am looking for? It has taken a long time. 2003 to 2022. when now I bought my next land when I met you.
Yeah. So perhaps you can tell us about your dream this time around, this piece of land that you have. What is it that you have as the end goal? What's your vision?
By the time you are getting to the age that I am, you want to be in your dream home.
Yeah.
I did build my house, but it wasn't responding to my needs. Right now, I need a home that responds to my kind of family setup.
Yeah.
I like bringing my children together.
Yeah.
I like to serve a meal all the time in my home. I love cooking. So therefore the meal, the layout of my home should respond to those needs.
Yeah.
Where can I sit with my children and have a great atmosphere?
Yeah.
I love air. I love the elements. I love my trees. I love plants. I like to tinker around in the garden, whether be it flowers or some food or something.
Yeah.
So that is what I am looking for right now.
Okay.
That this is towards the end of my life, and what home do I want that responds to those needs.
So right now, perhaps you can walk us through like, what stage are you at in the process? What stage are you at, and then perhaps you can walk us through some of the steps you have taken to get to where you are.
You know, when you have money, you buy the land. I made again the same decision that I made in 2003. I bought the land and I thought, well, I'm selling the other land and I have got money and I can build my house. And then Mphangela happens to you and tells you, this amount of money that you have doesn't respond. Actually, you need 3, 4, 5 times more, and your bubble is burst. But because I'm a believer, I took my concerns after you had given me an idea of what it looks like to have this home that I'm looking for. And after much prayer, I was given certain insights of you can still build. Most of the time in our life, we want to gather everything. I have to have the money in my pocket. And in prayer, it was like, what do you have right now?
What can you do?
And therefore, start taking the steps. You were very helpful to give me the steps that I need to take even before I do the drawing. I am not even at the point of the drawing. I am at the point of looking at the land. What is the topography of my land? How does it incline and? No. Decline and incline. What are the soil? I've just received now the soil testing of the land, and that is so interesting because I am doing it step by step. I am understanding this piece of land because by the time I put a house there, it would have been from a point of understanding. So where I'm at, to answer your question, is that now I have received the report from ONZA that will tell me what kind of soil do I have for all this tinkering. The land that I have purchased right now has got a community initiative, like a cooperative, where each one of us is going to plant avocado trees. And that was the whole purpose of me getting this smaller piece of land. I'm coming from 25 acres of land, which I don't need. I did it for prestige.
Yes.
Now I have gone to 3 acres of land. It works fantastic.
Yes.
I can fence it, which is now the next step. We are waiting for the site diagram so that we can fence and secure. We've gotten the soil samples, which is very good. And then next we'll go to the structure engineer, right? No.
Next is the topographic surveyor.
Yes.
The surveyor, yes.
Yes.
Who's going to do a topography, because yours is quite a...
Yes, and it has different inclines on the land. And exactly where do I plant? Where do I build the house? So it's not just merely I'm building the house here. I'm planting here, no. So the planning aspect has been so helpful. Of course, because you were able to tell me the reality, it burst my bubble.
Yes,
and for a period of time.
And we had a heart session after that. Yes,
that bubble was burst, but it brought me to reality, to have an understanding. What do I have? Yes, I have the piece of land. But what kind of finances do I need to ensure that I attain my vision?
What I've loved about interacting with you, firstly, it's always very difficult to give difficult information.
Like bursting the bubble.
It's always very difficult to do that because you're no longer the nice guy in the picture.
Yes.
So we went through a process of planning, looking at your needs, and also looking at what your budget was. And how everything came together. And we did come to that moment where it's like, it's not enough. Maybe just explain how after that process you have made adjustments to what your initial ideas were.
So like I said, after reality hits, the bubble is burst, because when you see a certain figure you think it can solve all the problems. But I was very grateful that the reality on the ground helped me see things even differently. What is it that I have? Which you did very well. You gave me the different scenarios of what you can do with what. And that was interesting to see. Something I never did in phase 1 of my building. I never looked at, what is it that I have in order for me to achieve. So it took longer, more expensive. But this time around, what you did is to take what was in my mind, put it on paper. We did a very interesting site visit for you to understand, and for me to also understand the land and what that land can give me. And does it align with my dream? Your report was very detailed and also further telling me the reality of how this planning process to achieve the vision was going to be taken. So that was very helpful. But now looking back, I am thinking to myself, don't stop. The mistake we make in most cases is that we want everything to be equal. I have the money, I have the one. Start small. If somebody is going to give you a bill of 5,000 to give you an aspect of the building, go ahead and do it. Don't wait until everything is equal. And that is what your report did for me. And you coming into the picture was able to allow me to look at my building journey differently.
Yeah.
With a little bit more foresight, understanding, taking a step back, and not just plunging in. Yeah.
What would you say from your experience with this build and with the first one? What would you say are some of the challenges that you have faced?
I think I touched on it in our initial discussion.
Yeah.
The use of specialized service is underplayed in our building journeys, because we think, let me get the drawing and let me get somebody to build. You get a piri and what, and you bring them. It doesn't work that way. It was very costly for me because I was getting pieces and pieces, and I felt I was a project manager, which I wasn't. I wasn't a project manager, but I needed an engineer. Whether be it for water, electricity. I did do electricity. But I also missed the point of planning the whole project. I didn't. And for a person who has worked for 30 years as a project manager, I never did it for my building. You know, what is the design? You know, look at it. Of course, I had a BOQ, but no, I wanted to manage it myself. Okay, we are buying how many blocks, and sometimes handing over to somebody you can trust and providing oversight is cheaper. It's cheaper.
And less stressful.
And everything is held up because I have traveled for a meeting somewhere. So people can't move because I haven't approved, and it just was a longer, more expensive process. So therefore, from the time of buying the land, and also the process at Ministry of Lands is not like that.
No.
It took me 3.5 years to get my title deed. Even when I got my title deed, I was still paying the loan that I had gotten on the land. When I finished paying the loan, things had changed in my life. I was doing other things, babies were coming or whatever. So priority for building wasn't there. So plan it. Plan it. If you don't plan, you plan to fail. That is just so real. And that was a huge lesson that I learned from phase 1. So I'm hoping phase 2, with you coming on board, I can try and do away with some of those mistakes and challenges that I faced in phase 1. And then don't build a big house, big mansion. They won't stay there. So I sold it.
So you've spoken about the challenges that you've had. In other discussions we've had, you even spoke about problems with your foundation.
Yes. The contractor just did their own thing and it went slanting.
Oh no.
And now to correct that at tile level, 2 or 3 years later, when we are now putting the tiles, we find there is a slant here. Another cost. You can't even go back to that contractor.
No, you can't.
Listen.
So now, even with those challenges, you're still motivated to keep going with this journey. You're doing it now for the second time.
It's exciting, it's exciting with all its faults.
And what motivates you? What motivates you to do it again the second time around?
I need something that aligns with my personality. I love nature. And yes, there are beautiful homes that have that. But I think what attracted me to phase 2 was the fact that it was going to be like a cooperative where each one of us commits to 0.5 of our acreage to plant with avocado. And the avocado has got a lifespan of 30 years. So I have done this phase 2 as an investment, not only in the building, but also for the future, that these trees will outlive me. But also building quality. In most cases, people have a lot of money, but they compromise
on the
quality of the build. I love high ceilings. I love big windows. I just love my space. So finding that equal fit hasn't been easy. So this is fitting me. Phase 2.
And then as we just end the show, our listeners and viewers will not see what chaos has been going on in the background as we're recording. But it's been an adventure, I tell you. Perhaps you could leave us with some words of wisdom, especially those who are on the journey. They're just started, there's some who are just thinking about it and looking at whether this is the right thing for them. Or those who have started and, sometimes it gets challenging and moving on. Perhaps you could share a bit of wisdom from the experience that you've had so far.
Plan. Engage the specialist. The first specialist for me is God. Engage God from the word go. To avoid just fixing everything on your own. But God also places specialists like Mphangela. She will come there and tell you like it is. And what is working for me in phase 2 is that she has given me options. Options that suit me, suit my budget and my needs. Don't disregard why there's a water, electrical, civil, structural engineer. Those become so vital to this journey. And what may seem expensive now is really going to save you in the long run. Engage with a specialist and ensure that whatever journey you are on starts with just one step. What do you have? Don't look at the huge amount that you need. Start from somewhere. Today I was planting a moringa tree. There, it will give me health even when the house is not there. Maybe a hut would do for me right now. And start from somewhere. Like I am starting from somewhere. Thank you for being there for me.
Thank you for being on the show. Thank you so much for sharing your insight and being generous with opening up about your journey. I know it's helpful when people hear other stories about where it is that they're at, and I'm so grateful to have you.
Thank you so much.
This has been an Architect and a DJ Build a Home podcast. Thank you for listening and see you next time. An Architect and a DJ Build a Home podcast is a Home Build Zambia production, recorded and produced in Lusaka. The show is hosted by Kalenga, he's the DJ, and me, Mphangela, I'm the architect. Video recording by Sharon Malama, music by Bless the Creative, technical support provided by Bless the Creative. You can find us on Instagram at home_build_Zambia or on our website homebuildzambia.com, or contact us by email podcast@homebuildzambia.com. Thank you for listening.